Welcome back to my stamp room. I am excited you're going to stamp with me again. And today's card is more of a floral card. And as you know, I don't do a lot of flowers, but I do love this stamp set, and I'm excited to bring it to you. The stamp set I'm using today is the Stippled Blossoms, and I'm going to use the Perfectly Penned stamp set as well. So let's get busy. For this card, you're going to start off with the basic gray cardstock, and it's just 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half. And then I took a piece of the Fanfare DSP and I cut that to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I just wanted a little bit of DSP for the background, and I love this print. Next, I have a mat of the Raspberry Ripple and the Primrose Petals, and I took the Raspberry Ripple is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then the Primrose Petals is just a smidge shorter than that. Does that make sense? I'll put the dimensions up. Let's get busy with the actual stamping of this card, because the Stippled Blossoms is actually a two-step stamp. So for this one, I'm going to start off using the Primrose Petals. If I can get it open. And when I started this card with the Primrose Petals, I decided to stamp off because it was really dark first. So stamp off first, and then we're just going to stamp up here, and then we're going to ink it up again, stamp off, and then do another one, about right there. The next one is using the Raspberry Ripple. Now, two steps, some people like to do these really perfect and get their Stamp-A-Majig out. Not me. Not for something like this. I want it semi-perfect, and that's pretty semi-perfect. And we're going to stamp it again right over it, and boy, that is pretty. I like it. I like it. I like it. Next, I'm going to do the leaves. I'm going to use Wild Wasabi. And again, I'm going to use the solid one first, ink it up, I'm going to stamp it off, I'm going to stamp it up here, ink it off, stamp it down here, and then we're going to come in with the outline. You don't want to stamp off for that one, go over and then stamp it again. Again, does not have to be perfect. I really like that look. Now, I did something a little bit different. For the sentiment, I used Thank You, and I'm actually using basic black craft ink, and with the Thank You, I'm going to stamp over a little bit of the image. And I really wanted that to pop out more, so I decided to go ahead and use some clear embossing powder over it. I'm just jumping all over the screen here. So I went ahead, put my clear embossing powder, and we're going to heat that up real quick. Hang tight. Alright. So once you have that done, I'm going to rough up the edges just a wee bit here. And I'm actually going to use my sponge. I know, shocker. Just going to do a little bit of the edges, not much, just a little bit. I'm going to roll this edge just a little bit too. And before I put this on, I don't want the airbrush tool to go all over the place, all over the card. So I'm just going to do this one piece and kind of high up and just kind of airbrush a little bit of my Primrose Petals marker onto it. And now we're ready to mount that onto the card. For that piece, I'm actually going to use my dimensionals. Let me find them. We'll put 4 on. Get these off. Put that right there. And I'm also going to add a piece of lace to this card. I'm going to use my snail. I actually did not want it on that side. I wanted the other side. Let's do that again. On that end. There we go. And I'm just going to lay it down like that so it catches it. Didn't catch it as much as I wanted to, so let's do it again. Like that. And then I'm just going to trim the edges off a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. This time now, I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back. I think the longest part of my videos sometimes are just taking off dimensional backs. But I sure do love me some dimensionals. They're so great. You're going to put that right on to the center of your card. Fix that piece there. And the last thing to do is tie a bow using some rose red seam binding. Can't talk and tie a bow at the same time. And this might be the longest part too. Alright. You're going to get it as small as you can, and then you're going to stick this on using a glue dot. I'm going to put that right about there. Now that bow might be a little bit too big. There we go. I'm going to clip these edges. And one last thing. I just want to spread that thread out, or the ribbon out a little bit to make it look kind of tattered. If you pull on those, they'll get a little bit straighter. And there you go, a fast, quick card using stippled blossoms.